man's name. She'd met him at a deaf event, back when she could barely sign, "Hi, my name is," never mind, "Are you sure that condom worked?" But she hadn't forgotten him, or the floppy blonde hair and brown eyes that had inhabited her dreams since that fateful night. She'd gone to every deaf event she could since then, hoping to find him again, but it was as though she'd had an immaculate conception. Wouldn't be the first Jewish woman to experience one. She shifted the bag on her shoulder, the one holding her lunch and pumping supplies, as she made small talk with Shanice. The receptionist was an interpreter student working in the community to improve her skills. Izzy still wasn't sure what she wanted to do long term. Interpreting would give her more job flexibility, so it was something to consider for the future. A woman with short brown hair came to the front desk, and Izzy remembered Deanna from her interviews. The casual yet professional attire said she could hold her own in a business meeting and also chase a toddler down the street, all without breaking a sweat. The woman had the same friendly smile she'd had before, the kind that could put even a scolded toddler at ease, and Izzy relaxed while shaking her hand. Deanna took a moment to check on Madison's drawings. The little girl perked up at the attention, and Izzy took that to mean it wasn't unusual for Shanice's daughter to be at work with her. She followed Deanna on the mini tour of the building and up to the second floor, where she signed her paperwork and went over company policies, including a no dating coworkers clause that Izzy didn't have any intention of questioning. Instead of policies, Izzy wanted to ask about the new social media manager, the person most in need of an assistant at the moment, and she'd be working with him first. He'd been only recently hired when she interviewed, so he hadn't been present. She hoped he also had the laid-back vibe everyone else projected. Before she could ask about a private space to pump, they were on the move again. Deanna took her from office to office, making introductions, until they arrived at a closed door at the end of the hall. Izzy glanced at the label, Nolan Holtzman, Social Media, as Deanna opened the door enough to stick a hand in. The light inside flashed before she opened it all the way, the deaf equivalent of knocking. A large desk sat off to the side in the small room. The man sitting there glanced up. Wavy blonde hair and brown eyes, so familiar that Izzy's gut clenched. He wore a simple blue button-down, a far cry from the t-shirt with video game controllers on it she'd seen him in, and out of, before. Deanna provided introductions, but Izzy didn't need any. Not when she finally knew the name of the social media director, her new boss, and her baby's father. Nolan clicked through the multiple tabs he had open on his monitor, one to each of their social media pages and one to the agency website, which was in serious need of updating. The agency's online reach was practically barbaric compared to most others around. Outdated websites might be normal for most, but the deaf community depended on the advancement of technology to bring communication and accessibility. And this agency didn't even have a video on their website or a Twitter account. Or rather, they didn't have a Twitter account last week. Now they did, and he needed to get the word out. As the state agency, the goal included preserving, protecting, and promoting the civil, human, and linguistic rights of the deaf community, those words proudly displayed on the website and pamphlets. And yet, this basic lack of access contradicted those goals. Part of the reason why he hit the ground running, this change was long overdue. Nolan glanced up at the flashing light, eyes going straight to the woman shifting on her feet outside his door. A woman he'd recognize anywhere. Izzy. He was vaguely aware of Deanna standing there as well, introducing them, but couldn't tear his gaze away from the long-haired beauty from his past. He'd wondered if his new assistant, this Izzy Fineberg, was the same Izzy he'd met at a deaf event. But then he remembered that she'd been an early ASL student, and odds were it couldn't be her. Nolan's karma didn't work these